Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today's video is a review and flight review on the WL Toys V911 4-channel fixed-pitched helicopter. It's a pretty cool little heli. It's about 9 inches long from the back end to the tip of the nose of the canopy. I didn't include the length of the blade overhang. A lot of companies do, so I just figured, you know, best way to measure fuselage, 9 inches. It's got a really nice remote with it. It's also digital. You've got all digital trims as well. Fire it up. And it's got a nice digital display on it. You can see where you set your trims. It does hold a memory too. Once you've trimmed out your helicopter, it'll hold the memory. When you throttle up, of course, a background light comes on and tells you your throttle level. Your directions are also marked. Your steering for left and right, or pirouetting, is actually on your throttle stick on this one. And your banking maneuver is on the right hand side, and of course forward and backward. You also have a button which switches between mode 1 and mode 2. Now mode 1, this machine is actually fairly docile. I have crashed it a ton of times, but you know, I ordered a bunch in to sell in my shop, and of course I had to have one for myself, right? And I think these things are pretty cool because they're a nice little indoor heli, but they're also good for large gyms. They're good for, you know, outdoors up to, I think it's 5 miles an hour wind they're rated for. Very lightweight actually, which is kind of cool. You would think it was pretty fragile, but I've had a lot of crashes, and I had a couple of really bad ones, and I ended up killing my tail motor, so I put a new tail motor on pretty easily. The boom is actually metal on this one. Landing gear is very, very flexible and springy. You're not going to break it too easily, and being that it's such a lightweight helicopter too, when it does take a smack, it's going to bounce back pretty easy. Big thing is with any helicopters is, you know, if you know you're about to crash, you know, throttle down. You've also got a battery level indicator on here. Tells you how your battery power is in the remote too. When you do your directions for forward and reverse and left and right banking, it does light up on the display. I think that's really neat. Now mode 2 on this machine is extremely fast rates. On mode 1, for example, if you were to do this, which we'll show you in the video, it'll pretty much hang in the one space and just move around. If you hit mode 2, it's a little more snakier, and we're going to show you that as well. Now on the back, we've also got, it holds 6 AA batteries. It also has a charger cable in here, so if you're not near a USB port, you bring your dual charger with you, because it does come with 2 batteries. And you get about 6 minutes of flight time per battery on the stock batteries. I also ordered in the extra long life batteries too for longer flight time. But then you can charge on the field type of deal, right? So you don't need to be near a power source or a USB source. You can charge right off the remote. Now I don't know how many charges you're going to get for each shot, because I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it should be, at least a good 10 charges anyway. The big important thing though is to always use good quality AA batteries regardless. This thing does have a range of a little over 150 feet, so it can get right up there. It's pretty good. So let's fire this thing up and show you how she flies. Now it is 2.4 gigahertz too, so you can fly with your buddies and they can fly different machines if they're on 2.4 gigahertz, and you have a lot of fun. Now this is just a straight hover, and it's pretty stable. Got a little bit of forward movement there. So I just bring it back one. And this is just mode 1. Now I'll show you that stick movement I was talking about. And So it really doesn't go away on you too easily. Four channel is different to get used to, which also is the reason why I crashed so much. So I wasn't used to the four channels that much. I've flown four channel before, but unless you're flying it a lot, you kind of lose the edge, as they say. So let's do a little pirouette here on mode 1. Okay, so it's not all that fast. It's very stable, very controllable. Now we'll switch to mode 2, and we'll do a pirouette. And it's a little crazy. Banking maneuvers. It can really book it. Very good forward, reverse. It's pretty quick on the hop. Now we'll try that stick movement deal again. And it's a little more crazier. So you've got the two modes, and I would definitely suggest mastering mode 1 first. And now we're back on mode 1. I mean, all in all, it's a really nice helicopter. I like it. You can change the colors because you can get different canopies and tail fins and blade colors for it too. The blades are fixed in place and held in with screws, so you don't have to worry about trying to balance your blades out, you know. They should run pretty true right out of the package. The helicopter comes all pre-assembled, so you don't have anything to do except throw some AA batteries in the transmitter, and away you go, and start flying. Now I would recommend charging the batteries first, even though they do come with a charge from the factory. And like any batteries, they're going to lose a bit of charge over time as they're sitting, and you don't know how long they were sitting in the factory for, so definitely a good idea to make sure they're topped up properly first anyhow. And you can charge two batteries at once. It takes about, off the USB port, it's about 40 minutes to almost an hour to do two batteries at once. But, you know, well worth it. And, you know, you buy the extra batteries, you can go to the higher capacity batteries and get more flight time, which is kind of nice. But, and very easy and simple to work on. Full part support for this machine. Even with the ones I ordered in a whack load of extra parts. You never know, you know. But when I said I crashed it a lot, I wasn't kidding. I face planted it several times, lost right control because I got a little gutsy with the mode 2. And and I've got, like, the only damage I did was to my back tail motor, which is pretty minor really. So, and instead of replacing the entire boom assembly, I actually cut the wires short off the motor to give me the extra length I needed, and then I was able to wire in another motor that already had wires on, because these motors, you can't take the wires out at all. I mean, they're not, like, they're soldered but from the inside of the motor, and so it was pretty simple setup to do, and it's also a lot less hassle than, you know, ripping the boom off and putting a whole new boom in and resoldering wires onto the board and everything. So this was a simple, quick solution, and that worked out rather well, and it didn't disrupt the balance any. Use small heat shrink tubing. Now this is about the smallest heat shrink tubing I could find in town here, and it holds it just enough that if I blow my motor again, you know, from being stupid, then I can always just slide it back, unsolder it, because it holds enough tension there that it's not going to move around, which is awesome. And then I don't have to worry about cut stuff, you know. And so it makes it a lot easier doing the motor changes that way as opposed to replacing the whole boom unit all at once. But as you've seen, it flies really good. Very stable in the air, very quick responses on that Mode 2. It's a little insane, especially for indoors. Outdoors, it'll be a lot better. I'm going to stay away from the Mode 2 myself, even for outdoors for a while, until I can really master this thing myself. And I'm looking forward to being able to fly outdoors once the snow is all gone. So, but anyways, kudos on this thing. Really awesome product. Well thought out design, nicely built. Very impressed that the boom was metal. I thought it was plastic at first. And I was like, oh, you know, because I thought, you know, it's kind of cheap. Because I've seen these small little helicopters before, and from other companies, and they were plastic booms on a lot of them, and it's like, man, that just sucks if you snap that in half, you know, or bend it out of shape. This thing's built really strong, which is very, very impressive. And there are metal head upgrade kits for these that I'm actually going to be bringing in, and I'm going to change mine over to a metal head system just to see what it's like. It does add a little bit of extra weight, so in that case you might want to switch up to the extra capacity batteries because of the little bit of extra weight you're going to be adding on with a metal kit. But it does actually bring the quality of the machine up, and apparently from what I've seen on some videos, it seems to just overall look cooler, and I don't know about flying performance. I think it's probably going to fly a little bit more docile because of the extra weight. And the docile part is kind of nice to have, especially in the Mode 1, because Mode 2 is just a crazy little bird and it's still fun. But anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and we're going to see you in the next video.